Hello dear viewers. So today we are going to have a look at an old Master Grade kit, which is the MS-09R Rick Dom. The kit that you see here was released way back in 1999. There's already a newer version of this one, which was released in this year. But the one that I'm holding here is the older version, which was released way back in 1999. So let's have a look at the box art. Now on the side it shows the front and rear view, the head, the cockpit, the backpack and the rear skirt, and the details of a kit, how a kit will look after it has been painted, as well as the foot and the leg. Whereas the other side of the box art shows the beam bazooka, that huge, one of the biggest Gundam weapons that is available in the market. The gimmick with the hand with each individual fingers movable, the markings and the other weapons. So now let's just take a quick look at what's inside the box. Now one thing great about these old kits is that they come with this glossy photo of the fully painted kit. I really love this, and I wish the newer kits would do the same, but I guess it's a gimmick of the older kits. As you can see, a fully painted Rick Dom is going to look awesome. So now let's have a quick look at what's inside the box. So this is the first bag. We have some red parts, which looks like the inner part of the side skirts and the front skirts and the back skirts, as well as the shoulders. Here we have the inner frame, which is molded in grey plastic. Now the second bag here, we have the outer armor, which is in dark violet. And the foot section is all in black. Now the third bag, we have the stickers, the dry transfers, as well as a multicolored sprue. And that round jewel-like sticker you see there is for the beam bazooka, if I'm not mistaken. So now on to the fourth bag, which has some polycaps and the lavender or violet colored armor parts, as well as some parts for the foot and the inner frame. Let's have a look at the fifth bag. More of the outer armor. It's a very nice dark violet or lavender color. This is the sixth bag, which has the inner frame. And finally, there's the seventh bag. This is the black pieces for the skirts and shoulders. And this is the weapon and as well as the inner frame. Finally, the eighth bag, which has more polycaps, as well as the beam bazooka. Now let's just take a look at the instruction manual that comes with this kit. It's an older kit, so everything is in Japanese. These are the markings that you can place, or rather the specific sections, the description of the specific sections of Rick Dom. Here we have the sprues that were included in the kit and the instructions for assembly, beginning with the head, shoulders, fingers, as well as knee. Moving on to the other parts of the leg, as well as the arms and the hands. Also some backstory on the legs, arm unit and head unit. And in the middle we have some color schemes, as well as some poses of a fully painted Rick Dom. Now more assembly instructions for the leg, as well as some backstory on the backpack and the weapons. The assembly process moves on to the leg, completing the leg. Then we go on to the waist, as well as body section. The body section is completed on the left page. Then we move on to the beam bazooka and the other weapons. Finally, all the major sub-assemblies is going to be put together. And these are the pictures or diagrams showing where the various sticker decal and dry decals should be put. And that's a picture of the back of a fully painted Rick Dom. So there you have it, just a quick glance of what's inside the box of the older Master Grade Rick Dom kit. As I mentioned earlier, this was released way back in 1999, so that's like 23 years ago. So I believe this kit is no longer in production. So if you want a Rick Dom, unless you can find it in a shop somewhere, you're most likely going to get the newer version of the Rick Dom, which was released in 2022. So let's just put everything back into the box. And that's the nice glossy image of the Rick Dom, which I'm going to place somewhere as a poster. So there you have it, guys. So this is the quick unboxing of the old Master Grade Rick Dom. We'll move on to a detailed look at the sprues after this. So now we're going to have a detailed look at the sprues that came with the old MS-09R Rick Dom Master Grade kit. This will be a very detailed look at the sprues, the finish on the sprues, and what they are mainly used for. So first, let's look at the multicolored polystyrene sprue A. It contains some semi-gloss grey parts for fingers, vernier thrusters, as well as some glossy purple or violet for the arm and armor, some clear pieces for the faceplate, eye and lenses, and a semi-gloss yellow for the heat saber. The fingers that you see here, the grey parts, are all individual fingers, so it will give a great freedom of movement. So that's the multicolored sprue A. So now let's move on to sprue B, which is also polystyrene. It's glossy black parts. These are parts mainly for the Rick Dom's feet, its body, its waist, for example the side skirts, front skirts, and front skirts, yes, for the knee, and for the foot, yes. So this is the sprue B, which is in glossy black. So now we move on to sprue C, which is also polystyrene and glossy and in grey colors. These are parts for the bazooka, the inner leg frame, the hands, the heat saber handle, as well as backpack components. Some of these parts will require painting, while others, such as the inner frame, because they'll be enclosed by the outer armor, I guess we can get away with not painting them. So that is sprue C. So now we are moving on to sprue D, which is polystyrene glossy red parts. These are parts mainly for the inner shoulder, the waist, the leg, and the head armor. So one thing about red is it's kind of very plasticky. So for sure, most of the red parts that I've worked with will require painting if you do not want that plasticky look. So that is sprue D. We move on next to sprue E, which is polystyrene glossy purple parts for the Rick Dom's body, its hands, and its feet. These actually have a nice glossy finish to them, but most likely I will repaint them because I want the darker violet color, a lighter, darker tone. So this is sprue F, which is a polystyrene semi-gloss grey parts for the Rick Dom's body, waist, pelvic, shoulder, head, vernier thrusters. Most of the grey parts, most likely I will just top coat it with a flat top coat, with a flat clear coat, sorry. Because parts such as black, light grey, grey, tend to have a good finish once they are applied with a flat coat. We move on now to sprue H, which is polystyrene glossy purple parts or violet parts. These are the bell-bottom leg armor. Next up is sprue I, which is a polystyrene glossy black sprue with parts for the figurines, the Rick Dom pilots, parts for its head, Rick Dom's head, neck, shoulder, and waist armor. The figurines are a standing pilot and a seated pilot. These black parts will most likely be top coated with a clear matte coat, and they should provide a very nice finish after that. It removes the plasticky look to the parts. Next up is sprue J, which there are two of them. This is polystyrene glossy grey parts. These are for the feet's vernier thrusters, for its ankle or leg inner frame, as well as the Rick Dom's elbow inner frame. Some of these parts will be painted in metallic colors, while some, such as the inner frames, if they are hidden from view, most likely I won't paint them at all. So that is sprue J, which comes in a pair. Next we have sprue K, which also comes in a pair. This is a polystyrene glossy violet purple. It's for parts for the Rick Dom shoulder, arm, leg and waist armor. I honestly prefer the violet color in the older Rick Dom kit compared to the very vivid purples of the newer Rick Dom kit. The muted colors seem to suit the Rick Dom better. So that is sprue K. Next we have sprue M. This is a soft polyethylene parts, I believe. These are grey polycaps. So next up we'll have sprue N, which is this huge sprue here, which is a polystyrene glossy grey, and it's just two halves of the beam bazooka. The main beam bazooka part. Then sprue O here, which is also a polystyrene glossy grey, have the other components of the beam bazooka, as well as the sole of the feet, the body vernier thruster components, as well as the backpack components. So a lot of parts here are going to be painted in a metallic color, so while some will be flat coated with a clear coat, a flat clear coat, especially the outer armors, and some the inner frames will be, I don't think so there's any inner frames here, so most of it will be either just metallic or clear coated. Next we have sprue PC121. This is soft polyethylene coming in a grey, molded in grey color. This is just small polycaps for use on the joints and such. So let me just put the parts back into the box. I'm not putting them back into the plastic bags because I'll be working on them soon. So I'm just stacking them together, and I'm not really worried about scratching the plastic here because most of the parts here are going to be repainted. For an older kit, this Rick Dom certainly comes with a lot of parts. There's the manual. Let me just put the box out of the way. So the one thing I haven't touched on yet is the stickers and the dry decals that come with the Rick Dom kit. So here are the dry decals, dry transfers, which should give a very clean markings if applied properly. Meanwhile, here are the stickers. I'm not really a fan of stickers, but when you don't have any water decals at hand, I guess they'll do. Meanwhile, here, this beautiful jewel-like sticker will be used for the lens for the beam bazooka. So let me just put them all back into the bag. Be careful with the dry transfers, because if you don't have that paper-like sheet behind them, they tend to stick to any surface and partially transfer out. So there you have it, the unboxing for the a detailed look at the sprues of the Rick Dom in this unboxing video. So thank you very much for watching, and later on we'll move on to the assembly. For now, thank you very much for watching and have a great day.